Hey guys, Mysterion here. So, I wanted to talk about the state of Cyberpunk, right? And the reason that I want to talk about Cyberpunk, because by God, I'm so happy I didn't pre-order it. And I'm so happy I didn't buy it. And the reason I didn't buy it is because I always look at game reviews before I buy it, right? You'll learn the more you watch my stuff and the more I talk about things. I'm very frugal. I don't spend lots of money. I really don't. I only spend money when I know I want to spend money, and I'm very cautious. I really am. No matter what the game is, it could be Elder Scrolls 6. I'm not gonna buy it unless I know for a fact it's good, right? Which means I'm gonna wait for the review, as you do. Excuse me. So anyway, so Cyberpunk 2077 was a mess. Was an absolute mess. I've seen gameplay of it now, and I'm talking missing features. I'm talking game-breaking bugs. Some of the bugs that I saw in Cyberpunk was ridiculous. So I saw this bug where like a car got like catapulted like across like multiple buildings and hit the player, and it was freaking hilarious. Like, I saw ones where the character with his car was literally like melting into the ground. I saw the worst one that I've seen by far is the one where if you commit basically any crime, the police don't transport to you, like they don't drive to you, they straight up teleport to you. Like think of like Oblivion. Like I don't know if you've ever played Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but like in that game, right? You could be in someone's house and you murder them and they make no noise, but then straight up a guard will run up and say, "Stop! You violated the law," right? It's sort of like that in Cyberpunk, right? But like the difference being, there's no delay. Like there's no 2 second delay of the cop running like there is in Oblivion. Right, they straight up just teleport to you and shoot the crap out of you, like they're a firing squad, right? Like it's straight up like that. Right, it's so bad. Like, and you know what? If I was to buy Cyberpunk 2077, I sure as hell I'm not gonna buy it on the PS4. I'm gonna buy it on my PS5. And if I buy it on my PS5, I'm gonna buy it, right? Once a lot of patches come in. Because nah, that looks bad. That looks trash, and it's so bad, right? Because literally, Cyberpunk 2077, that game was announced in 2012. 2012, and I've told so many people this, and they don't believe me. Look it up. 2012, that game was announced. I remember watching like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Someone speculating about the game before it was going to come out, right? And they were talking about this idea and like how cool it was. And now the game's finally released. It's trash. And it's sad, right? It took them 8 years to develop the bastard, right? And it's trash. The amount of glitches in it and things, yeah, the game should have spent longer in the oven. It's as simple as that. The game should not have been released at this current stage. I know it would have sucked and looked bad on CD Projekt Red, but the fact of the matter is, it's better to disappoint the fans in the short run, right, with a game that's delayed, than to give them a game that they've paid their hard earned money for, right, and have it be absolute trash because of bugs, right? It's much better to delay the game and make sure it works than make people spend money uh, on a game that's not finished or a game that's not perfect or a game that's not fit for use, right? And the worst thing about it, and CD Projekt Red have now issued an apology for it, but they did not show gameplay on the PS4 or the Xbox or the last gen Xbox. They showed majority of their actual gameplay on the PC. Now, it seems to me the reason they've done that is because the game performs the best on the PC. It still has glitches and bugs in it, but it performs the best on the PC rather than it does on a console. Now, That's very misleading, and I think CG Project Red realized that, and that's why they have decided that they're going to give refunds to people. Now, initially, Sony had refused to give people refunds for if they bought the game on PlayStation Store, but it seems to me like Sony has flipped that decision now, and they decided, hey, we're going to give everybody a refund, but it's come at a cost, right? The cost being nobody else can pre-order the game now. No, not pre-order. No one else can buy the game now on the PlayStation Store. It's gone. If you actually look Cyberpunk 2077 up, it doesn't come up. It doesn't come up, and it's odd, right? It's so weird. I've not seen Sony ever do this, and I've seen some pretty bad games come out. We had Fallout 76, we had No Man's Sky. This never happened, and it's odd that this game has now made it so Sony had decided that they don't want it on the store for a limited time, right? But it's sort of a good thing that they've done it. And it's a good thing that they've done it because if you think about it, right, Sony is a Japanese company and they're a very strict company, right? They try to be very stringent about things, right? And they are sort of, in a way, if you think about it, sending a warning to other companies, big and small, right? Because CD Projekt Red is a pretty big company. Right, they're a pretty big developer, I should say. The Witcher is huge. They make The Witcher, right? The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. That was an awesome game, right? They made that, okay? And the fact that Sony took the next big game off their PlayStation Store shows to other developers, hey, guess what? Make sure your games are good enough to be working, or guess what? We're not putting you on our platform to sell them. And that's basically what it is. That's the guts of it, right? And that's the good thing. Because if you think about it, right, it protects us as consumers. I personally wouldn't want to buy a game that is not up to par in terms of the standard of working appropriately, And I think, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think a lot of people would agree with me that they want games that are going to friggin' work, right? You don't want a game that's so buggy that it's almost unplayable, right? There was a point within Cyberpunk where there was game-breaking bugs in it. That's how bad it was, right? So, you know what? I think it's a great thing. Look, it limits our ability to play, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to pay full price for a game that's not functioning properly. So I'm personally glad that Sony are doing what they're doing, because they're showing to every other company, you can't do that, right? It's not right. You're not going to do it because you're screwing our player base, and that's what it shows, right? And I'm glad Sony are doing it. And in regards to Cyberpunk, I really hope, at least in the long term, that they improve it and they make it better. And I think they will, because CD Projekt Red are a good company. They made. I trust them very much after The Witcher 3, right? I think they did an amazing job with that game, and I think they'll do an amazing job with Cyberpunk. I think what's happened, it's either from a consumer point of view or it's a shareholder point of view. Now, a shareholder, if you don't know, it's essentially a person who owns a business, right? So they own stock in the company, right? And obviously, the major stockholders are the board, right, of directors. Now, the reason I talk about that business jargon or those business terms, right, is because it's either the owners of the company or the consumers, or it could be even a mixture of both, that put pressure on the developers to make this game happen and make it happen faster in order to get the game out, or in order to have fast cash come in. Make money off the hype, rather than make the game high quality. Let's sell the game and get a ton of money, right? And on a consumer point of view, give us the game now. We want to play it. Come on. We've waited since 2012, you know? And I think that's the crux of why the game got stuffed up. Too much pressure on the developer. And I hope that other games don't follow this trend. But I think most games that are bad, they typically have that in them. You know, the hype was so large that consumers pressure the company, or the shareholders that are that greedy or that impatient that they just want their money now. And the problem is, both things lead to a crapper product that ultimately will, lower expectations or disappoint fans, which leads to less profitability for the company anyway. And I don't think shareholders realize that. And that's the sad thing about gaming. Anyway, I hope that changes. But thank you guys for watching. I notice I'm getting a lot more views lately. Thank you very much. Please like, sub, and share. I need my subs up, please. Very much, please. I need them higher. I hope you have a great one, and I hope you have a great Christmas. Peace.